Hey everybody, it's Scott back for episode 5 of my Thaumcraft 1 Let's Play. Guys, I'm happy to report that this pack seems pretty stable. I haven't had any major issues. There'll be one that I mentioned with some enchantments. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But otherwise, the pack seems pretty stable. I think I'm going to release it, if you guys want, on episode 10. I'll have done enough testing and stuff by then to know. But I've done quite a bit between episodes. I'm kind of working on the framing of this, on how to build it out. I don't know if I'll put a structure in front of it. I've done some framing here where we're going to build kind of a garden or deck area here. And then we're going to build along the side. And I've also gotten a lot of V crystals from these guys. I've been letting them farm up against the monument here. They'll spawn occasionally. This is the biggest size. And they'll stick toward the monument or toward the obelisk if you don't bother them. And I've also learned to hunt the wisps. And the wisps are one of the most dangerous mobs that I've seen in these versions of Minecraft, because they shoot at you from a distance and they give you a nausea effect. So hitting them with a bow is really hard because you're spinning around, you got nausea and all that, and they are just relentless. You cannot outrun them. They will hide outside or wait outside a hole for you. I mean, they are just very intense, but I've learned to hunt them a little bit. It's especially good to hunt them in the cave down there. And by the way, the cave down there is just awesome. It is psychedelic, guys, with all of the phosphorus in it. And it is huge. I haven't even explored all of it, and I've spent a couple hours or more in that cave. And it is really big. So guys, we are going to progress in Thaumcraft in this version, or in this episode. And I've gotten quite a few resources in between and processed them through the IC2 machines. So I have quite a few stacks of copper and tin. I've got a sufficient amount of gold. We'll need gold in this episode. And I haven't processed all my iron, but I have a pretty decent amount of iron. I have 57 diamonds, bunch of redstone, lapis, the glowstone that we got. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on Thaumcraft immediately. And the first thing we're going to want to do is produce these symbols. Okay, and the symbols are similar to some of the later versions of Thaumcraft, but they're your automation. They're what you do with automation. So you have to start off by making a blank symbol. So let's go over here to our crafting 2 table, and we'll be able to see it inside of there. There's the blank symbol, so we can get that crafted. Then you want to produce, use an infuser to actually create the runes. It's like you're crafting in here. So let's go ahead and produce the infuser. I have hunted endermen at night, so I've got quite a few ender pearls. I did find some slimes in a slime chunk. I'll show you some of the stuff I dug out. And this is what you get from the wisp in this biome. Different biomes will give you different drops from the wisps. In this biome, I get the electrified V crystals, and then these are the regular V crystals that I've been getting from those slimes. And sometimes on occasion, the wisp will drop those as well. Okay, so we're going to want to go ahead and get out our nodes. We'll be using those. We produce those in another episode. That's the node, and then this is the conduit. But I'm going to get an ender pearl. So again, I've been hunting endermen at night, and I've got 9 so far. But yeah, let's go ahead and produce that infuser. And you can do it here in the crafting 2 table if you've got the ingredients for it. I should have what I need. Let me check just real quick. You could get the recipe, of course, in this by using the R key. Maybe not when that's open, or something's waiting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had maybe a lag spike or something there. Or maybe it's the crafting. Yeah, I need to produce a piston, so I need to get some redstone. Got plenty of that, so I just need 1 redstone, and we'll make that. Okay, should be on here. Yeah, here's the piston. Okay, so now we should be able to make the infuser. It should appear in the table right here. Okay, so there's our V infuser. Okay, and to use these, you also use things called runes, which will change the abilities of what they're doing. Seems like NEI and this may not like each other that well. Causes maybe a little bit of lag. So the iron rune, all of these are produced from nuggets. Here's the blank rune, or they're produced in the infuser, but the blank rune's produced with nuggets. Yeah, I can see that NEI and this guy aren't very good friends. That's okay, not a big deal. It's maybe just the overlay of the GUI. But these are produced from gold nuggets. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and make a few gold nuggets here and have those ready. Okay, and so let's lay down our infuser, and then you need to give it a source of V, which I do have a bit of V in here. One thing to keep in mind is that when you have V in the open crucible like this, it can spawn slimes occasionally, so those slimes we saw out there, and they'll eat up the V inside of it. So I actually had more than that, and some of it got wasted because those guys ate it, and they eat it to grow. So to connect them up, we have to put a conduit in between it, and you can see that V flows through it. It doesn't actually consume it until you put something in it to craft, but it has a GUI here, and then you put your blank symbol in the bottom area, and then what you want to use as a modifier for it. So we'll first of all start off by making the iron symbol here, and you can see that V is flowing through, coming through the pipe, and then there's the buffer for it. It doesn't actually store any, it just pulls it as it's needed. And there we go, we produce the iron symbol here. Okay, so the iron symbol pulls items toward it just on its own. So if I have it here, it'll pull items slowly toward it. Looks like about a range maybe of 5, maybe a 7x7 around it, but it pulls it pretty slow without any modifiers on it. So you modify it with the runes. All right, now these items will despawn. They're just pulled right to that area. Okay, so pretty cool. Let's go ahead and produce our blank rune here. Let's see, it should be on the list right here. Okay, so there's our blank rune, and consume the gold nuggets, 4 of them. And then you do the same thing. You choose what you want to infuse them with. We can do an iron one, but let's go ahead and do an iron one. That'll increase the range of it. Or is it the pull strength? I don't know. We'll look. I'll show you the wiki here in a moment. But yeah, let's go ahead and you just place it in the center of it, like such. Okay, and so it clicks it together, and then if you want to get it out, you just click in the center of it. Left click. Yeah, you left click to pull it out, pointing at it. All right, and that should increase. It's either the range or the strength. I think it's actually the strength. Yeah, it's the strength of the pull. So the range is about the same. It just pulls it faster. Okay, so that's pretty cool, guys. Then the diamond one, the diamond rune will put it into a chest. So let's pull it out, and we'll go ahead and produce a diamond one. So let's get another blank rune. Should have enough. Now the diamond, for it to pull into the chest, needs a source of V. So we'll actually have to put it closer to the V source than this. Let's grab that. And we'll just put it right next to it for now. I think I have a chest on me. Yeah. I don't need these conduits at the moment. So let's just put it right next to it. I think it'd be, right there would be fine. And put down the rune. Now they can also go vertically on a wall as well, or on another block, but you can't put them in this version on the chest because you can't shift click to override the chest function. So you can't place items on a chest in this version. But let's go ahead and produce the diamond rune. So to do it, I need to get a diamond out here and put it in here to infuse it. So put that in there, and then put our blank rune that we created. All right, and it takes just a moment. It's pulling V from here. So I actually need to add more V to it. I'm going to use wood right now as a source. I've been using, let's see my wood chest over here. Been using Melons is a good source, but obsidian is the ultimate source, and I'll show you what we're going to do to work with that. So drop that in, kick some of it out. It's fine. It's weird getting wood each thing. Where'd the wood go? Here it is. All right, why are we not going in there, guy? Let's do a little bit at a time. There we go. And so if you haven't seen before, this crucible burns items into V, which is that purple liquid that we see, and it does it based on the value of the items. So, you know, wood's not of high value, but we can get a lot of it. All right, so there is our diamond rune that we've produced here. Let's go ahead and put it in and see if we're close enough to the source. So it should go into the adjacent chest, and it should consume the V from the crucible to do that. I may need to be right next to it. Pretty sure it can consume it from here. It may need a node. Let's test that. Let's move it one closer. Let's see if we need to be right next to it or what the deal is. Or if it can actually consume it from there. A lot of this, there's not that much information out there, so you're just testing to see what can happen. And that's kind of fun, really, just to kind of figure it out as we go. Now let's try it. See if it can pull it from there. If not, we'll add a node. Okay, it doesn't appear to. So let's go ahead and add a node again. That's kind of one of the reasons for the nodes. Unfortunately, we'll pull V into it, and it, you know, won't be in an ideal spot for us, but let's go ahead and do that. You do need a conduit between the nodes. Yeah. I believe it did it then. Heard a pop. Yeah. So, okay, it requires a node to do that. It can't pull it directly from the crucible. Good to know. And you can see that this automatically pulls them in. You can make a network of this. You could actually see the stream of V from here to there. So, yeah, it's pulling in items and consuming a little bit of the V out of it. And it places those in the chest. So that's pretty cool. And you could, again, see the flow of V from here to there. It pulled it all out. And this guy is showing its fill, so it's maybe a third of the way fill or whatever. So that gets us started in what we want to do with Thaumcraft here in the beginning. We're going to want to build a room out here. It's night. I'm not so scared at night, hardly at all, because the sword that I have is awesome. I forgot how good that knockback is on these swords. So I got a diamondium blade, so that means it's the diamond head and the diamond rod, and it has sharpness 5 and knockback 2 on it, and the knockback 2 is really good. It knocks mobs way back. Now, one thing to mention about enchantments is that for some reason I cannot get fortune to work. All right, I have fortune on this mattock, and that's okay, but I have fortune on a couple of items. Like I have fortune on this hard diamond pickaxe, which is the diamond head and the iron rod, efficiency 4 and breaking 3, fortune 3. Fortune, I'm just getting single items from it. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just because it's the tools, the Infinitool stuff. So I made a regular diamond pickaxe, and I'm not getting fortune to work on that, or at least nowhere near the level of what it does now. So I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to have to test that in a regular pack. And then it did also enchant the diamond drill. So I'm not sure if sensible enchanting has some kind of issue with it or something. I'm still testing that. Sensible enchanting allows you to revert your items back. It uses half your levels and stuff like that. So we're not getting fortune. So all of these diamonds have come just from mining. So that's the thing. We'll have to continue to test that again. This pack is in testing to figure out what issues there could be. And that could be one. Did I sleep? Yeah. Okay, so out here I have a outline that we're going to use to build out from here. I'm going to expand out to here and use this as a roof for it. And then we're going to use these awesome blocks called magic blocks, okay? And that's what you're seeing over here. Magic slabs, actually. And they are part of the Infiniblocks mod, again, the MDIO mod. So these are cobbled ones. There's a whole bunch of different ones. So let's see, magic blocks. Yeah, there's them in all kinds of styles, okay? And they basically change their shape according to what you do with them, all right? It's really unique and interesting. I don't know why they haven't moved it forward because it's really neat. But all right, if I put one down, you can see it's a regular slab. But if I put another one on top, then it'll make this type T shape. Put another one on top of that, expands the T shape. Put it off to the side, it makes a vertical version of it. Okay, come out and it expands that, gives me a little edge right there. Okay, and so that'll continue out. But if I come to the side of that, it'll go downward, you know, keeping that. So pretty neat. Go another one to the side, and then one above if I can get there. Yeah. So see, you can make all of these really crazy and interesting shapes, and they work like side by side. Like if I connect them side by side or diagonally, they'll do cool stuff. See, like that, you know? So you can make, and then there's glass versions of it and stuff. So making diagonal structures like we're going to do over there is really cool. But you can make all of these incredible shapes with them. All right, so they are very interesting. They'll do vertical slabs. I mean, they are just so cool. So I don't know why, you know, Tinkers didn't pick that up and continue with them. Maybe it's something with how micro blocks go or something. I don't know. But super cool. So we'll use those, and they'll especially work well in the tree, so you can make some more complex shapes with them. You can see some of the shapes that I've made inside of here as framing on the wall. It does the corners. These are vertical slabs. I mean, just very cool, guys. Super cool. See, like an archway type of feel. So it kind of made a stair, and they're half the edge of the block instead of the full block. So very cool. All right. So that gets us going on that. Now we're going to want to get into some equivalent exchange stuff a little bit. I think I'm going to also produce some tools here to show you what I'm going to use for building and such. So I'm going to produce some more of these wands. Now we've had the breaking wand for a while. Now we're going to produce the building wand, which is 3 gold and some planks. So I have gold. It should be in there. See if I see it. Not offhand. Should be in there. See if I'm missing something. I don't think so. Do I have planks? Yeah, definitely that and NEI don't get along very well. It might be trying to sort it, because the R key is also sorting. That might be what's going on. Got gold ingots and wooden planks. Okay, I got ingots. I'm missing it. I always just check this, guys. That's why I go to this, just to see if it picks up all recipes or if it has some issues. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so sometimes blindness, too bad they're trying to search. Let's test and see if that is the sorting. Because I pressed R, I'm frozen, so it's not, yeah. It's the sorting of it. So it's doing sorting, and it's doing the R. So that slows it down a little bit. So I could probably just reassign one or the other, but I'm kind of used to it. Because the inventory tweaks is doing the sorting with R, but then R will show you the recipes as well. And that's been like that forever, to where you kind of just use those together. So we have the building wand now. And we have the breaking wand, and so let's go and also produce the mining wand, which takes 3 diamonds to produce, but it will let you mine ores, and I believe like you could get sand and stuff from it too, dirt and whatever. I think it drops all blocks that you use, whereas the breaking wand breaks them. So that's kind of the difference between those two. Then it'll pull certain ores too. So let's go ahead and produce that guy as well, just because we can. And it should be in here. There it is right there. So there's the mining wand. So we have all the wands in that series. There's reinforced versions, which we'll probably upgrade to. Yeah, pressing R in there is a real thing. Something you just get in the habit of doing. But the reinforced versions require obsidian and blocks of gold. Now, for me, they're not that big of a deal because, again, they repair in the with the talisman of repair, which is something I produced from Equivalent Exchange, and using it in the alchemy bag, I can just repair all my items. Now, if you repair it in your inventory, I think it's taking covalence dust to do it, but in here it doesn't. It just repairs them. Okay, so it's maybe a little bit different. I haven't tested it all that much in my inventory because it just works so good in here. I just throw my tools inside of there and it repairs them. Okay, so another thing to mention just quickly is this is different. Is here since I just have the regular generator, right? And I'm not going to produce any further of the IC2 stuff for the generators and stuff because there is a Thermic Generator, okay? And it varies with the phase of the moon, but it produces either Buildcraft or Industrial Craft energy from V, all right? And it varies with the phase of the moon, but it'll do up to 15 EU a tick. So it's pretty decent, and you need these electrified crystals, and then you need the eldritch timber that you get from those eldritch trees and a block of gold and a conduit. So we'll probably go and kill one of those eldritch trees so that you can see how that goes. Do that on camera, and then we can produce that guy. And then once we get a lot of V, we'll be able to use that as the power source. That was one of the reasons to bring these together. I'm going to put up a gold nugget for right now. I don't need it. I think we're done with gold for the time being. Let's try to clean out my inventory. Now, another thing is you get these tree roots from digging dirt. Okay, and I guess that's part of the infinite blocks or whatever. But you get these tree roots, and the tree roots can be used. Let me push you on it. Can be used to produce saplings from a leaf. So if you get a leaf of a different type, you can produce a sapling from it. Now, it's just showing sapling 6, but I'm not sure if it just produces that or whatever, or if that's maybe even a special sapling to that. I haven't played with it because I just started getting them from dirt. But okay, one thing we do want to do is produce some of the generators that we're going to use now. These are kind of cheaty blocks, but they're something that, you know, I want to use for our production. So I have a Cobblestone Generator that we can produce, an Obsidian Generator, and a Glowstone Generator. All right, we can produce all of those. So the Obsidian one is 2 lava buckets, a water bucket, 2 iron, and cobblestone. So you know, we need to get some buckets. I have 1 water bucket on me. I'm not sure if the bucket's consumed. We'll test that. So I think I needed 2 lava buckets. And actually, my source of lava is a little bit distant. So let's save that toward the end of the episode because I'll probably cut away and travel there. I don't have a lava immediately at a source. But for the time being, let's go ahead and produce some of the items from Equivalent Exchange because I want to do that on camera because we're going to need them. So let's produce our collector, the very first level of collector here. So we need 6 glowstone, block of diamond, glass, and a furnace. All right, so I don't have a furnace produced. I know I'll need that. I should have other stuff in the project chest ready for that. So yeah, let's make a quick furnace. And then a block of diamond. So we'll go through these diamonds quick again. By the way, the Philosopher's Stone in this version is still a crafting table. So you hit the C key and you can get that. But I was mentioning about fuel, and then I distracted myself. But in equivalent exchange, you can take a piece of coal with the Philosopher's Stone and make 4 charcoal from it. So you quadruple your charcoal, all right? And that's cool. So I've been using that in the IC2 machines just to conserve my coal because the generator, you know, uses fuel. And I was going through coal like crazy until I happened to discover that that worked. So let's see if that's all our recipe. Yeah, I've got my glowstone over there. Let me get a piece of glass. Should have it here. My inventory's a mess. I'm going to throw that in there. And the flowers. Yeah, let's get our inventory cleaned up a little bit. Okay, my glowstone is over here. So we should be able to make that. Let's see what we got here. I believe this is it. Yeah, energy collector. Okay, so this works the same as the Project E collectors, essentially. I'm actually going to... I can't put it on top in between these. These are slabs. So... I'll put it over here for right now. Okay. And it works the exact same. You can see it's gathering EMC, and then it'll do your transmutation of stuff that you want by putting an item in there. So if I put a piece of coal in here, and it'll go through and it'll process the coal to go to the next level. It shows you the light level. So now we got gunpowder. Then it'll go through the next transmutation. And of course it's slow in here. Now you can put a glowstone on it to speed it up a little bit. Let's do that. Let's make another glowstone and do it here in the Philosopher's Stone. Don't have to, but it's just a portable crafting table. Okay, and that'll give us a little bit more speed, potentially, because the light level is better, although a torch was right above it. So that would take us to the next level, and it's really slow in the beginning. So you're going to want to go through and AFK it, you know, to get it started. That very first things you have to do. I have a Let's Play, so this gets us glowstone. So I have a Let's Play on the channel with Project E, where I go through a system of how to quickly produce stuff as quick as possible. But I have alchemical coal produced, all right? And then we'll want to produce Mobius fuel and Eternalist fuel and all that kind of stuff. I don't have many items in here right now. I only have 26,000 EMC because I haven't really filled it. I wanted to show you the resources and stuff that we've gotten before we add them to the table, just so you can get an idea of what we've done. So I'll put up the diamonds now. So that'll get us started on that, but you know, of course, we're going to want to work toward a power flower and getting things like the Archangel Smite, which would be really useful against the wisps. So we need to get dark matter for that, and dark matter is Eternalist fuel and a block of diamonds, so it's very expensive for that. We're definitely going to want to get flight, so we're going to want Swift Wolf's Rending Gale here. And again, that's in a state. This is a dark matter that's required. So, you know, it takes a while for us to get to that level of being able to do it. We could get started by adding our items, which we will do. But however, at first we'll just go ahead and let this produce some of the stuff. You can see it's already produced alchemical coal. Fortunately, alchemical coal can't be used in the IC2 machines or anything like that. So, you know, it never has been able to. All right, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and build out our little building here. Guys, I did go ahead and produce the building that we were talking about, but it turned out to be really long on camera once I did it. So I'm pushing that into the next episode. So we're going to complete the episode here. We got a lot done producing the project or the equivalent exchange stuff. I always want to say Project E. And our first Thaumcraft stuff. So guys, we are making great progress, and we'll continue with some building in the next episode. Anyways, it's Scott O'Mato. Take care. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.